So the Republicans decided in the House of Representatives that they were going to take a vacation now. They're done. They're running away from the House of Representatives after killing a bipartisan border deal that was led in the Senate by Oklahoma's Republican Senator James Lankford, after Donald Trump also gave the Maga Republicans not just the directive to kill the border deal, but also to not fund Ukraine. And Maga Republicans are refusing to look out for our national security interests and not move forward the Ukraine funding bill in the House of Representatives. The Maga Republicans said, we're going home. We're done. We're good. Here, Jake Sherman reports that the House is done for the week by 2:30 p.m. tomorrow, and they will be gone until February 28th. So just to be clear, that they're done working on February 15th, and they shut down until February 28th, and then there could actually be a government shutdown shortly thereafter. This is what the Maga Republicans are doing. Here's what Tom Emmer, the majority whip for the Maga Republicans, said. Members are advised that H.R. 7320, Reforming Intelligence and Securing America Act, is no longer expected to be considered in the House this week. Members are further advised that the last votes for the week are now expected at approximately 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. I mean, these people are just the worst. I mean, these are so unserious, so problematic people. So they're all running away. They're leaving. By the way, one of the things they did yesterday is MAGA Mike Johnson, I guess just to appeal to independents and moderates throughout the country, put Marjorie Taylor Greene as the Speaker pro temp to preside over the House of Representatives. Here, just watch this.
The Speaker's Rooms, Washington, D.C., February 14th, 2024. I hereby appoint the Honorable Marjorie Taylor Greene to act as Speaker pro tempore on this day. Signed, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Pursuant to the order of the House of January 9th, 2024, the chair will now recognize members from lists submitted by the majority and minority leaders for morning hour debate.
And here's what Marjorie Taylor Greene said when she was asked by a reporter who did a very good job continuing to ask her questions about why it is that she and her MAGA Republican friends are killing any support for Ukraine. Just watch this. Watch her run away from this reporter. Play this clip.
Secretary David Cameron says that you should vote through funding for Ukraine. What do you say to that?
I think he tried to compare us to Hitler also. And if that's the kind of language he wants to use, I really have nothing to say to him.
Well, he likened you to an appeaser to Hitler in not voting through funding for Ukraine. Are you an appeaser for Putin?
I think that I really don't care what David Cameron has to say. I think that's rude name-calling, and I don't appreciate that type of language. And David Cameron needs to worry about his own country, and frankly, he can kiss my ass.
But do you think Putin's the good guy in all this?
At the same day that the MAGA Republicans are saying that they're shutting down the House of Representatives and they're going home and they're taking a vacation, it's notable as well that you had the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, Mike Turner, posted the following cryptic message. Today, the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence has made available to all members of Congress information concerning a serious national security threat. I am requesting that President Biden declassify all information relating to this threat so that Congress, the administration, and our allies can openly discuss the actions necessary to respond to this threat. The National Security Advisor in the Biden administration, Jake Sullivan, held a press conference and said, I'm not really sure what this Republican Mike Turner, chair of the House Intelligence Committee, is talking about. He hasn't been briefed yet. Watch NSA, the National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, watch his response in this press conference. Play the clip.
Serious national security threat. What can you say about the threat and what the administration plans to do?
So first, I reached out earlier this week to the Gang of Eight to offer myself up for a personal briefing to the Gang of Eight. And in fact, we scheduled a briefing for the 4 House members of the Gang of Eight tomorrow. That's been on the books. So I am a bit surprised that Congressman Turner came out publicly today in advance of a meeting on the books for me to go sit with him alongside our intelligence and defense professionals tomorrow. That's his choice to do that. All I can tell you is that I'm focused on going to see him, sit with him, as well as the other House members of the Gang of Eight tomorrow. And I'm not in a position to say anything further from this podium at this time, other than to make the broad point that this administration has gone further and in more creative, more strategic ways dealt with the declassification of intelligence in the national interest of the United States than any administration in history. So you definitely are not going to find an unwillingness to do that when it's in our national security interest to do so. At the same time, we, of course, have to continue to prioritize and focus very much on the issue of sources and methods. We'll do that. Ultimately, these are decisions for the president to make. But in the meantime, the most important thing is we have the opportunity to sit in a classified setting and have the kind of conversation with the House intelligence leadership that I, in fact, had scheduled before Congressman Turner went out today. Yeah.
But again, here's the thing. You've got these MAGA Republicans saying there's an invasion at the border, but then they refuse to engage in any good faith negotiations. So they want the invasion because Donald Trump says he wants to create chaos. They're saying that there's a national security threat to our country. That's the MAGA Republican chairman Mike Turner saying this, even though National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan's like, what's he talking about? Regardless, okay, if we accept Mike Turner that there is this massive threat, your response is that you all are just you're going to go home. Now's the time for a vacation. And this at the same time that the MAGA Republicans in the House are refusing to provide funding to Ukraine because Donald Trump wants to attack our alliances. He said that. That's what he's rooting for. He's cheering that on. Let me show you this as well, just so you see the utter dysfunction here. Here is Kevin McCarthy, the former Speaker of the House, no longer a member of Congress. Here's what he has to say about MAGA Republican Matt Gaetz. Play the clip.
I hope Nancy gets the help she needs. I really do.
Are you going to give her any help?
No, I am not help financially. I just hope she gets the help to straighten out her life. I mean, she's got a lot of challenges. No one will stay working for her.
Has there ever been any conversations between you and the former president about Matt Gaetz and his decision to throw you out? Is he supportive of that?
I don't know how close you probably think the president is to Gaetz, but you should figure that out.
They're not actually that close? Gaetz makes it out to be like they're...
I'm sure. Gaetz probably makes a lot out of it. He probably lies about who he sleeps with, too.
Melanie.
This was MAGA Mike walking or roaming the halls of the Capitol building, saying that he's not going to consider funding to Ukraine until there's a border bill that's passed, even though he was the one who killed the bipartisan border deal. Here, play this clip of MAGA Mike just kind of roaming the halls of the Capitol. Play this clip.
Totally urging you to. Speaker Johnson, you want to fund Ukraine.
National security begins with border security. We have said that all along. That has been my comment since late October. It is my comment today.
Are you worried about the constitutional precedent that could be set by impeaching New York? Is that going to come back to bite you when the tables are turned?
I am not.
So I'm about to get married and kids may follow, and finding the right life insurance to protect my family with Policy Genius has never been more important for me. Make life insurance part of your financial planning this year. Start shopping now with Policy Genius to find the right policies to protect your family. Getting life insurance today means you'll have the peace of mind so that if something were to happen to you, your family can cover expenses while getting back on their feet. Luckily, Policy Genius helps you compare your options from top companies, and their team of licensed experts is on hand to help you talk through it. That's what I love. They helped me talk through it and find the policy that was right for me. Policy Genius's technology makes it easy to compare life insurance quotes from America's top insurers in just a few clicks to find your lowest price. Even if you already have life insurance through a policy at work, it may not offer enough protection for your family's needs, and it may not follow you if you leave your job. You got to figure that one out. With Policy Genius, they make it easy. You can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. Policy Genius has licensed, award-winning agents who can help you find the best fit for your needs. They work for you, not for the insurance companies. And that means they don't have an incentive to recommend one insurer over another, so you can trust their guidance the way that I did. No wonder they have thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot. So save time and money and provide your family with a financial safety net using Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com/Meidas or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/Meidas. You've got other MAGA Republicans in Congress, like you got Ronnie Jackson, who you probably know as one of the people who was there at the White House when Trump was in office running a pill mill right there. And here, Ronnie says he's trying to attack President Biden, but then he confuses Trump with Bush. Play the clip.
Absolutely ridiculous. And you know, Laura, I was at the White House. I was a White House physician for 14 years. I took care of President Bush for 3 years. I took care of President Obama for 8 years, and I took care of President Bush for President Trump for 3 years. So
here you got MAGA Republican James Comer, who chairs the Oversight Committee, threatening or attacking, rather, Democratic Congress members like Dan Goldman and others, and saying they were engaged in witness intimidation as part of his bizarre witch hunt to just randomly impeach people based on deranged, unhinged, debunked conspiracy theories. Play the clip.
I've never seen such witness intimidation as what I saw today. And it wasn't necessarily from the Democrat staff who were leading the deposition. It was from the members. It was from Jamie Raskins. It was from Goldman. It was from Garcia. It was from Crockett. They were there. They were wagging their fingers. They were pointing. They were yelling. They were calling Tony Bobulinski a liar. They were telling him to shut up. Wow. Tony Bobulinski is an American hero.
Show you, though, some of the Democrats pushing back right here. Here's Democratic Congress member from California, Pete Aguilar. Here, play this clip.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Speaker Johnson said several times yesterday that one of the reasons he's not going to put the supplemental on the floor is he wants to focus on the appropriations deadlines that are coming up. As an appropriator, you understand how this process works. Is there anything about this process that would preclude him from putting this bill on the floor? What's your reaction to him saying that one of the reasons he's not in a hurry to put the supplemental on the floor is because he wants to focus on the upcoming appropriations deadline?
Look, Democrats also believe in on-the-job training, and that's clearly, where Speaker Johnson is right now. But you have to be able to do two things at once. Nancy Pelosi frequently did 12 things. I understand doing two is hard for him, but that's what the job entails. And so we've got to focus. We have multiple priorities to get done, and that's what we should be focused on. But the Appropriations Committee should be working on. They have their numbers. They should be marking up those bills. We still have ample time on the floor this week and in 2 weeks that we could take up a national security supplemental if the Speaker was truly intent on delivering this, or what we're finding out is he just wants to carry Donald Trump's water. But we have to be able to do multiple things at once here. But he's shown incapable of that.
Here is Democratic Congress member Jim McGovern from Massachusetts. Play the clip.
Again, we're doing reruns this week. We've dealt with this legislation. This is the fourth time we're dealing with it. And I predict that we'll probably deal with it a fifth and a sixth and a seventh and eighth time, before the end of the year, when hopefully your majority comes to an end. And I don't want to be lectured about jobs from somebody who supported Donald Trump, who, when was president, had the worst job record since the Great Depression. And I don't want to be lectured about blue-collar workers. I come from an area in Massachusetts where we actually stand proudly with our unions, something that my Republican colleagues fight against every single day in this chamber.
Democratic Congressmember McGovern's really pushing back. Let me show you another clip of him right here. Here, play this clip.
Meanwhile, the Senate is sending us bipartisan bills that Speaker Johnson refuses to bring to the floor. The The Speaker doesn't seem to think that his job is to solve problems, but rather he thinks his job is to block bipartisan solutions. We had a bipartisan immigration solution. It was blocked. Well, guess what? My Republican friends now own the issue. You are responsible solely now for what's going on the border. You are responsible for the fentanyl crisis in this country.
And they're all doing this, the MAGA Republicans, as you hear Congressmember McGovern talking about and Democratic Congressmember Peter Aguilar talking about. I mean, they're all doing this for, Donald Trump, who's out there. This is what Donald Trump said when he was speaking in South Carolina on Wednesday. Here, play this clip.
But when I say that Obama is the president of our country, they go, he doesn't know that's Biden. He doesn't know. So it's very hard to be sarcastic. When I interpose, because I'm not a Nikki fan and I'm not a Pelosi fan, and when I purposely interpose names, they said he didn't know Pelosi from Nikki, from Tricky Nikki. He didn't know. I interpose, and they make a big deal out of it. I said, no, I think they both stink. They have something in common. They both stink. And remember this. When I make a statement like that about Nikki, that means she will never be running for vice president. She will never be running for vice president. Remember that.
So, folks, that's the state of play. Republicans running away. I mean, behaving in such a cowardly way, intentionally causing harm. I mean, when you say, Ben, intentionally causing harm, I mean, that's strong words. I mean, they're intentionally causing harm to the border. Here, take a look at this video. What we learned because the MAGA Republicans killed a bipartisan border deal. Here's what's going to happen. Here, play this clip.
Boris? The bipartisan Senate border bill that Republicans spiked last week would have provided ICE with billions in much-needed funding. Without that money incoming, the agency has now drafted contingency plans in the face of a dire budget deficit to the tune of some $700 million. CNN has learned that the plan would require cuts to detention capacity and therefore imply the release of thousands of migrants currently in their custody.
Yeah, so exactly. I mean, that's what Trump said he wanted. He wants that chaos on the border. He's rooting for that. They're rooting for Russia, not helping Ukraine. I mean, it's every issue trying to cause problems. It's very strange. It's sad, but we got to just call it out. And it's not a both sides issue. It is what it is. We have to get the truth out. We got to get the facts out together. We will. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.